Chipotle looking to cash in on its hot digital sales growth lately. The company announcing it will open its first digital-only restaurant this week. The location won't include a dining room or a line for ordering, and customers will be required to order ahead of time on the Chipotle app or online. Joining us now to talk about this in a CNBC exclusive is Chipotle Chairman and CEO Brian Niccol. Brian, good to see you. Tell us a little more about how this is going to work and how big of a concept this could get for you.
Yeah, well, great. Thanks for having me. Obviously, we're really excited about our first digital-only restaurant opening, which we're calling the Chipotle Digital Kitchen. And, one of the things that we had started to work on before the pandemic was the idea of giving people access in trade areas that traditionally we had not gone into because now we have this new digital capability. And Highland Falls is an example of that. And obviously, with the pandemic and consumers' behavior moving more and more to digital, it was fortunate that we're able to open a restaurant like this. And, I'm happy to say we're already getting some pre-orders, which is pretty fun to see.
I assume this is the kind of announcement that Wall Street likes because it would seem that these kind of stores are more profitable, lower expenses, smaller footprints, et cetera. But what are the implications if this does get big? And we've seen McDonald's experiment with it and others for the workforce, the restaurant workers and staff and waiters, if this thing grows.
Yeah, look, we think it's really in conjunction with the traditional Chipotle. I think you've heard me talk about this today. We have 2,700 restaurants. We think in the future we could have 5,000 or 6,000. We think it's going to be a combination of trade areas where it makes sense to have a digital-only concept and where it makes sense to have a full-scale Chipotle. And, you're going to continue to see us experiment. We'll be doing things like a Chipotle-only restaurant, a digital kitchen-only restaurant, the full Chipotle experience, still inline Chipotle. So it's going to be a portfolio approach. The good news is we've got so much growth in front of us. We definitely will be hiring for a while, and we're going to need a lot of great employees. So, we're really optimistic about the growth that comes with having this additional access point and the alternative format.
So Brian, even if the absolute number of restaurants can still increase, what was the percentage of eat-in 5 years ago and what is it today? And how much of that fall has been a sort of 2020 only, COVID only effect?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, before, if you go back 5 years ago, we were like 95% dine-in. Obviously, as we've been working our way into the digital business, just before the pandemic struck in March, we were about 20% digital, 80% dine-in. And currently, we run right around 50% digital, 50% dine-in. So we believe the absolute dollars associated with digital, which now are beyond $1 million on average per restaurant, will stay. And our dining room business will continue to come back. And then the thing that's nice is because we have the scale in our digital business, it allows us to start thinking about alternative formats that allows us to go into trade areas that before we would not have considered.
How much higher will the margins be for the digital kitchens?
Yeah, so the way to think about it is our best margin transaction is the order ahead digital transaction. And obviously, that's what this restaurant will predominantly have. We still will be offering delivery out of the restaurant. But that is a really profitable transaction. And then you combine that with a smaller footprint. It looks really promising from an economic standpoint as well as a customer experience standpoint.
Brian, in general, it's been a tough time for restaurants. How much share do you think you've taken from some of these smaller independent mom and pop restaurants that have had to close by the thousands across this country and don't have the scale and the firepower to change their business model like you in this specific case?
Yeah, look, I've definitely heard all different ranges of the impact on some of the small restaurant business. I really do believe that once we get past this, those individuals are arguably some of the most committed entrepreneurs out there. I think they will come back, and hopefully we can figure out a way to support them on the way back and through what looks to be a tough couple of months in front of us. But, we really stay focused on how we want to execute the Chipotle model and the best way to give our employees a great experience and our customers a great experience. And that's usually how we then get rewarded with the business that we were able to obtain and continue to grow going forward.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.